Hi all, Karen coming at you again, and I have
Hi.
my man behind the camera, Bob. Um, sorry, I have my phone in front of me here.
I mean, sex mix in case you hear anything weird.
Yeah, he's munching away while we're doing this. So, he's kind of joining me on some of these right now.
Yeah, because Bluto was disappointed in the last movie we watched. I
Oh,
had to talk him out of the noose. After he watched Halloween, I had to talk him out of the noose. I said, it'll be okay, man. It's all good.
all right. So next one, and I'm gonna say I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I'm just gonna be upfront.
hmm
I totally enjoyed this movie. I had a lot of fun watching it.
hmm
It's called The Final Girls. 2015. It's actually PG-13, but it's a good PG-13.
Well,
I know
yeah.
you'll put your 2 cents in that you like it, but what can make it better? It's an hour and 31 minutes, so
Perfect.
perfect thing. Basically, what happens in here? Whoops, I don't know if I'll still need that or not. So I'll set my phone over here. Um, there's this actress named Amanda who has a daughter. Her name's it's Max. I don't know if she goes by Maxine or whatnot, but it starts like I'm sorry,
Amber.
Amanda was in this movie called
I
uh
don't remember. I haven't seen this movie since
something
it came out, so I'm
something
just kind of
camp
winging it here.
bloodbath, whatever. It's kind of a Friday the 13th parody
Yeah, I guess.
ripoff. I don't know what you want to call it.
But it's funny.
But it's kind of that's like, but her mom's done other things as well, so she's this actress. But this is kind of what she's known for. So I believe her mom's trying to audition for something and something not getting it because this is the only movie she's known for. And apparently, this movie,
hmm
she's not in it very long, apparently, because she's supposed to have been killed very early on. But like, it's kind of got actually what part of it reminded me of a little bit is the Stab series in the Scream franchise.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Groundhog Day or Back to the Future.
Well, no, I meant like getting into it and then
Yeah.
later. But basically, what happens? Max and her mom end up being in a car accident. And her mom passes away. Her mom dies in a car accident. So it goes 3 years later or something like that. Max is still in high school. I'm going to guess a senior in high school at this point. She's staying with her aunt. She has a couple friends here and everything. She goes with her one friend, Gertie, I think her name is. Actually, I kind of like her. She's kind of funny and to meet Chris, who apparently likes Max a lot, to do like a study session. Gertie's stepbrother Duncan shows up, which I have to say I love all the characters in this movie as well. Even like the ones that are supposed to be jerks and assholes, they're playing the part good. Everything with that. And apparently these camp like I said, I can't remember officially what the title is called. I'm just going to refer to them as Camp Blood. There's two of them. Have
Camp Blood.
like
Don't watch Camp Blood. Those movies suck.
right, but it's something. It's da 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 at Camp Blood or something like that. But there's two of them, and apparently, Duncan works at this movie theater. It has like these movies have kind of gotten a cult following. They're having like a special screening that night, and he
A
convinced.
Stabathon.
Yeah, that's why I said that
Yeah.
is what reminded me of. Excuse me, from Scream.
You drink?
And yeah, let me take a swig real quick.
I Like I said, I'm just going to add in here and there. I saw the movie when it first came out. I don't remember a whole lot of it. I did like it. This is how you do comedies.
And FYI, free on YouTube right now because that's where I
Yeah.
watched it.
Fuck those scary movies, man.
But Duncan convinces Max, like, come on. He offers like to do like a bunch of her papers so she can graduate because she's basically failing because like she since her mom passed, she got no motivation. So they all end up at the movie theater. Gertie comes with Max, Duncan's there, Chris shows up, and then a friend of theirs that apparently is Chris's ex-girlfriend, Vicky, Nina DeVry. I can't remember how her last name's pronounced. I know her from the Vampire Diaries. I know she's been in a lot of other things. She's kind of like the bitchy girl. Shows up. So, anyways, they're watching the movie. A couple things happen and the fire ends up breaking out the movie. FYI, there are probably going to be spoilers in this because to even, explain the whole
Probably
thing.
gotta wait till the tell everybody that.
Yeah, almost 5 minutes in, but you guys probably kind of figured that. So everyone's trying to get out of the theater. Duncan comes over. Max ask if, and there's all these cliches. There's smoking going on, alcohol going on, like, and then a machete gets dropped in the middle of all this. It's like, it's kind of like, what the hell is going on? Anyways, Max asks Duncan, is there an exit behind the screen? And he goes, yeah. So Max grabs the machete, goes up, cuts the screen. They all go through the screen, and somehow they get transported into the movie. I don't know if they hit a wormhole, glitch in the matrix. What's up?
I don't know if I'm getting my movies confused. Wasn't there a fire in the theater? Did
That's
you?
why I said there was a fire. The theater was on
Oh,
fire,
sorry.
and I digressed about
I'm kind of waiting until you want me to
the
say anything.
the the alcohol, the smoking,
Oh,
which causes somebody's
oh
drinking, which
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
related
Okay, I
to the
remember now.
movie. Yeah, it's kind of
I'm hanging out here eating, so I'm not paying
it's
attention.
like parallels, and you're just kind of sitting there like, what the hell is going on?
Sorry, my fault.
So, anyways, they all wake up outside this road that leads to Camp Bluefinch, I think it's called in the movie, and this movie was supposedly made in like 86, but I mean, like, they have a VW wagon, and there's a lot of 80s cliches in it, and that's why I think I liked it as well. Well, three of the characters from the movie, Kurt, Tina, and Nancy, who is Amanda, Max's mom, show up in this VW van when they're all like, our main five characters are there, and they're just standing there like, okay, what's going on? Like, they're totally confused, not sure what's going on. So they kind of have their first interaction. The van goes on their way. Then on the screen, it pops up 92 minutes later. And I'm like, oh shit, the movie's replaying. Same thing happens. The van pulls up, ask them the way to Camp Bluefinch. I miss it, Bluefish. They go on their way. Duncan is kind of putting things together at this point. He sets his watch. So they're sitting there. 92 minutes later comes up on the screen, and here the van comes again. Well, this is where Duncan kind of interjects our
Okay.
five characters into the movie at this point. So they're kind of they go to the camp. They say they're new counselors and everything. They're interacting with the other characters that are there and everything. They're talking about following the one character because that she's due to be killed, because basically it's like, if you flash your boobs or have sex, you're killed. Like the horror cliches go. So they go into the woods after, well, they're trying to get key. There's some other things, like I said, to go on, but they go into the woods to try to follow the one character that's supposed to be one of the first ones killed, because she makes out with a hitchhiker or hiker or whatever. It's in the woods. Well, they kind of confront the killer is named Billy something. Billy, they call him Billy Boy or Billy something or other. And Duncan's just standing there after he kills off these two characters, and he goes, it's fine. He doesn't know what to do with us because we're not in the movie. Because, I mean, Billy's just kind of standing there like, who the hell? Because these guys are not dressed like everybody else in the movie, because everyone's wearing clothes from like the 80s and they're wearing present day clothes. And Billy's just kind of standing there, and um, Duncan goes, okay, he goes to take a selfie, and they're all, the other four standing off like, dude, you're going to get killed. Well, Billy just kind of walks away, and Duncan goes, see, I told you there's nothing to it. And they're kind of talking to like, okay, this Paula character is supposed to be the final girl. So they're like, all we have to do is stick close with her to the end of the movie, and we should get transported home. All of a sudden, before they leave, the machete comes flying and kills Duncan. So it's like, oh shit, Billy's not playing. He's going to plan on taking out everybody. So the other four run back to camp, and then they're trying to devise a plan. So they decide basically around this time too, this Paula character shows up, and she's supposed to be the final girl. She's like this badass, but she's also a virgin. The big thing, if you're a virgin, you survive the horror movie. So they're basically like, okay, the characters say, okay, we're going to, protect these guys. We got to just stick close to Paula. She's the final girl. She can kill Billy, because they basically know the premise of the movie. Well, things kind of don't go according to plan. It comes down, there's a flashback scene, and they are four now main characters, get transported back to the flashback where we find out what happened to Billy previously in the summer of 1957. that led to him becoming the serial killer. Well, when the four characters come back to the present time in the movie, Gertie has blood all over her face. Yeah.
Does it go into black and white?
Yeah, it goes into
Okay.
black and white too. I forgot to mention that.
I'm just trying to remember this issue.
Yeah, it's just it was just kind of it's funny. Like I said, it's just hysterical. Well, the other camper counselors freak out and go and run to leave. And our four main characters are like, no, stop trying to explain everything that's going on. And they stop a couple of the characters. Well, Paula and Kurt go in Paula's car. Well, Duncan ends up walking out of the woods like, hey, I'm okay. Well, Paula hits him with the car, so he's not okay after that. Then Paula wrecks into one of the totem poles that are there. Kirk goes flying out the windshield and gets killed. And Paula's just sitting there, and everyone's like, okay, Paula's still alive. Paula, don't move. All of a sudden, her car blows up. So they're like, oh shit, she was supposed to be the final girl. What do we do now? So they decide to start devising this plan. And they're discussing, who's going to be the new final girl. And it comes down, well, Vicky nominates herself initially, and they're like, you can't be, you're not a virgin and you're a bitch, basically. And they said, well, Max can be because she's a virgin. She's very, she's a good heart, da, da, da. Well, then it also comes down to her mother's character, Nancy, is also the same. Well, Vicky being a bitch, she's like, you can't be the final girl. You're the shy girl with the clipboard and the guitar. Well, Nancy takes off at this point, which I was kind of laughing because they were like Nancy, and I kept thinking Nancy from Nightmare on Elm
Or you said
Street.
Nancy and Tina.
Yeah, with those characters. But anyways, so Max and Nancy are kind of bonding, and it kind of gets to the point where Max wants to try to protect Nancy, feeling that she's her mother. Because I think to an extent, Max blames herself for the accident because of what transpired at that point. So Chris, one of our characters that fell into the movie with our group, comes up with a plan. They named it Plan Booby Trap or something. And basically what happens is Tina, who's one of the counselors in the movie, who is a real dip, airhead, she's supposed to do a striptease during the slumber party scene, hence Slumber Party Massacre. But anyways,
Yeah, stay tuned for that.
yeah, so they're trying to keep her from doing things to keep her clothes on because they need her as bait. So they have her with oven mitts on her hands, a life preserver.
Yeah, I remember that now.
It's hysterical. Well, they leave her alone at one point, and what happens is Vicky has been taking Adderall, which is shown earlier, to kind of get through things. Tina finds the Adderall and takes, I don't know, at one point she says 2, 3, 10, 30. So she took a few Adderall. And if you know what Adderall does to you, it's a stimulant. It's prescribed for people with ADHD
You would know.
to calm them. It has a calming effect on them. If you're not diagnosed with that, it has the complete opposite effect. So that's what happens with Tina. But the thing is, it makes her more focused. So they go and put the plan into place where Tina's standing in the doorway to lure Billy out, and she's doing this whole dance to Cherry Pie, which this movie has a good
Oh yeah,
soundtrack.
I remember that now. I knew there was a song.
There's a few songs, but
Mhm.
give me one second.
Was that okay? Oh, I'll say it. Um, it's supposed to be '80s, and Cherry Pie come on '90.
That's what I was trying to fit because they were playing
I
that,
thought
and I'm
nitpicking about it. If
like,
they wanted to go for '80s, I think that came out in 1990.
yeah, and I'm thinking because from what I'm understanding, this movie was
Okay,
like
okay, wait.
I thought they referenced '86. So, and
Okay,
I'm like,
you keep
wait,
talking. I'll go check.
okay. And I kept thinking, I'm like, wait, I think Cherry Pie came out after that. But anyways, maybe that's making fun of how some movies don't do continuity well.
Yeah, but that seems like a lazy excuse.
Anyway, so she's doing the strip tease, flashes her boobs. You don't see them because it's PG-13, and Billy shows up.
Yeah.
Well, she gets into a panic, and then kind of like in Daphne fashion on Scooby-Doo, triggers part of the trap and gets killed. because she falls into the bear trap they had set up. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to lure Billy out to get his machete for Max to kill him. Because they're saying that's what Paula did in the original movie was she got a hold of his machete and killed him. So
September 8th, 1990.
okay, so we're a little early on that. But anyways,
Late.
late, whatever. Trap doesn't go according to plan. We end up losing a few of our characters, even our ones that jumped into the movie in these next few scenes, trying to get the machete. So it comes down, we come down to 3 survivors after this failed plan: Max, Chris, and Nancy. Well, they kind of get cornered by Billy, and then Chris encourages Nancy to do her flashback scene again to activate a flashback, and it flashes them back to 1957 again. Well, it ends up Billy standing in front of the car and gets hit, and they get the machete. So they kind of wrap the scene up a little bit, but they follow Billy after he's attacked in the outhouse. And Nancy makes a comment because they said he's been living in the woods, and they follow him to like this abandoned house.
I need to use this when we're done. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm confused.
All right, well, keep
Anyways,
going. I'm just here.
so they exit the flashback scene. Chris gets stabbed in the middle of this scene. Billy takes off with Nancy. Max takes Chris to a church to leave him because he's hurt. And Chris keeps telling Max, it's not your mom. You have to let her go. You have to let her go. And she's like, no, she's still alive. And I know where he took her. So Max goes to this abandoned house. A couple of the other bodies are there. Nancy is there, still alive. She frees Nancy. Max tries to face off with Billy, ends up getting stabbed. Nancy takes Max back to the church as well. And they're sitting there talking, and Nancy goes, you can't be the final girl because I'm still alive. And basically says she's going to sacrifice herself so Nancy can become the final girl. Well, this is where Max kind of discloses, well, you were my mother, so on and so forth. So they kind of have a heart to heart on things and everything. And Nancy basically says, I'm not afraid anymore. I'm okay. I'm ready to do this. She knows she has to sacrifice herself in order for Max to become the final girl and survive. So Nancy steps out of the church, and I guess the song Max and her mom always liked was Betty Davis Eyes. And she goes out and does a dance outside to that song. Billy shows up and kills Nancy. Well, all of a sudden, Max gets superpowers, I guess is the best way to put it, because she becomes the final girl. So her and Billy have a final battle. Um, Kind of at times I was thinking a la Matrix with some things, and actually I thought a couple things were maybe supposed to be in 3D a little bit. But Max ends up cutting Billy's head off, ending the movie. The credits start rolling. So Chris comes out of the church, and they're standing there, and he's like, you did it, we can go home now and everything. Well, everything keeps playing through, and then all of a sudden, like, the card comes up at the end that, rated R for yada, 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 and all this other shit starts happening. So they're kind of holding on to each other like, okay, are we going home? What's going on? Because actually, I thought at that point that they were back in the theater. The way it was set, like, I thought the way it was set up was it was the end of the movie. They were back in the theater. Everything was okay until all this started to happen. Well, all of a sudden, Max wakes up in the hospital. Chris is in the bed next to her, and she hears these people talking, and she's like, what's going on? Well, she pulls back her curtain, and it's their other 3 friends, Duncan, Gertie, and Vicky. And I'm thinking it's Gertie. I might be her name wrong. And they're like, oh, are we home? Everything, did that not happen? Was it a dream? And Duncan pulls up his gown and goes, no, because he has this big, knife wound on his stomach. And all of a sudden, they realize they're in the sequel. And that's where the movie ends. Like I said, they were showing some blip stuff at the end and everything. But like I said, I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed this. It kept my attention. Like I said, it's hour 31 minutes. It's There's so many 80s cliches in it that you have to laugh.
Unless they play a '90s song.
Yeah, and which I'm like, at that point when that happened, I'm like, okay, are they making fun of like sometimes the continuity errors that come up in movies where like you'll see a poster in the background, the movie's happening in
I like to
'87.
spot that. You don't.
Well, you just do it.
Like Hot Tub Time Machine, I think that was.
Yeah, that's why I was referencing that. But I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's on YouTube. It's been on YouTube for a while now, I think,
I
because
don't know, a couple months
you've
maybe.
been telling me to watch it for a while, and I finally watched it today. Um,
Yeah, just look for it.
what's your
I thought it was great. I think it would have been better if they just went. If it's going to be a true '80s, they should have made it R. How many PG-13 slashers and stuff was there in in the
well, you
'80s?
didn't you say this went right, like direct to
I think that this. I don't think this was at the theater. I heard this was like a direct to streaming or something. I'm not 100% sure. But even if it wasn't, why can't they just have like two cuts of it? I
like
mean,
they like a unedited
we'll
or
have the cut where they
unrated
don't
or
show her boobs, and then have a cut where they show it, and then put that in the R-rated version, and then just, I mean, add some more. Well, not even real. Just I don't know, make it an R or something. Just
I mean that's the yeah. There's like no gore in it even with
not
the
a whole. Yeah, they should up the gore a little bit and had some nudity in it if they really wanted to go parodying '80s slashers. I mean,
right.
that's what they have gore and naked chicks. That's what
But
it
I mean,
is.
like I said,
That's what it
there's
is.
probably some more parody stuff like I missed in it. Like I said, because I just watched
Probably
it
because
for
you
the
don't
first
know that
time
stuff.
today. Um,
I remember some of it now. I haven't watched it in a while, but I like it.
right.
No complaints other than that. They should have went for it and made it R.
That was just so I can reference a
That's
couple
fine.
things.
I'm just
So
here.
that's about it. Like I said, it's on
Yeah.
YouTube, so obviously check it out. I mean, this is as of October 14th, 2022, when we're filming this,
And this will be
obviously.
uploaded in 2030.
You're funny. If my computer cooperates, I can get it up.
Happy
Some
2030 to everybody out there who's watching this in the future.
He just loves to make fun of me. I just don't want to fight with my
Yeah,
computer
that's
half the
fine.
time. Do you have anything else to add with it,
Like
or
I said, I haven't watched this in a while. I think I remember once you start talking about it, I remember it. I like the ending too because while he wasn't happily ever after, her mom didn't come back, or did she, or what? No, and it was like I
mm-mm.
like oh, there it
She
is.
was
Andy.
trying to say no, I just said that
They
she
save her
was
at the end. Wasn't she dancing to some song or something?
right, but she
What
knew
was that?
she Betty Davis eyes.
Yeah, I knew there was something. That I think that
No,
was
I just
'80s.
said that she realized she had to die in order for Max to truly become the final girl.
Well, that was cool. They didn't end it like, oh, I'm
Oh,
gonna.
happily ever after. It was like,
Yeah,
no,
well, because most horror movies don't end like that. So
no, exactly.
I'm glad
So,
they set it up. I hope they do make a sequel to it. I'd like to see what they would go with it. But if they do, take your time and make it art and make it good. Sequels seem to
well,
be
I
better
think
whenever they space them out.
part
I
of it
think.
is I've looked like with some of the actors and actresses in this. Actually, the one that played Chris, apparently he was in the Hunger Games. I don't know if it was the first one or
Never
what. I
watched
don't
those.
remember, but he's
Sorry,
also currently in the Vikings series that's
never
on
heard of it.
TV. I never watched it, so I mean, I don't know if it's something they would revisit or not. Like I was kind of checking out what these people have done. Like I
Yeah.
said, I knew Nina Dobrovi, whatever her last
I,
name is,
I don't
because
know, but yeah, it's cool. I mean,
with
I don't like I
everything.
said. The only thing I said, I think they should have made it. I don't hate it. I'm happy with it. It's cool. But if I had this kid
You
make a complaint,
But
that's
you
what I would
like it
think.
better than the scary movies.
Yeah, I like it better than all the scary movies. And I only like the first scary movie and the beginning of the second one. I hate the other ones I saw. Those movies suck. I hate them. Or all those other ones I was saying. I know what you did on Paranormal Activity and while
Well,
watching The Witch and
there was that one Shriek if I know what you did on
I
Friday the
hate the see.
13th
I hate
something.
those movies, so we won't be viewing them on there. I hate them.
I think we found some off the wall ones. There used to be a video store not too far from us called Rick's Video, and we would find a lot of off the wall ones there. It was kind of one
Yeah.
of those things. If you didn't find it at Rick's, you weren't finding it
What does that
anywhere.
have to do with anything?
No, we were just talking about parodies. I said I think we found a few there
Oh,
while
I
you
don't
were in
remember.
it.
I can't remember. But I don't like those that much. This did it right. This is the way I like it. If you're gonna do a parody, this is pretty much perfect, like I said. So yeah, I liked it. So I really don't have any complaints about it.
Okay, so that is it for this
Sayonara.
one. We will see you in the next one. Stay tuned for more. We're going to do two more reviews and then some discussion. So hang loose for those, and we'll see you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.